Hello, and welcome to my top 5 episodes of Once Upon a Time Season 3. Yes, I am bringing back this series. I did Season 5 and Season 4, and then I went to France, and then, my life just kind of exploded with things, so I wasn't able to get the list video out for Season 3, and obviously Season 1 and 2, just because they do take a bit more time to just construct, because I have to go through each episode. I generally rewatch, if not the full episode, like 90% of it. And then I construct a good chunk of notes to discuss, and then I have to think about honorable mentions, and then I just have to set the video up. Because the way I do this is I grab a ton of photos from the episodes, so that way we have, a good chunk of things to look at, so that way we're entertained. So I have 5 episodes that I think are the best of Season 3. Obviously, these are actually the episodes I think are truly the best, but they're not ranked. They're literally in alphabetical order this time. And I also have 3 honorable mentions. And I have to say, the honorable mentions were really, really easy to pull out this time than they were for Season 4 particularly, or even Season 5. I really feel that Season 5 and Season 4 have really, really strong episodes. And Season 3, I love 99% of the Wicked vs. Evil arc, but I really dislike a good chunk of the Neverland arc. So, finding honorable mentions was a bit more difficult. It was funny. And just before we get into the episodes, just a fun bit of trivia about myself. As I was making this, I was getting a lot of nostalgia, because Season 3 is when I really, really got into the show. I had watched Season 2 when it was airing, but I wasn't, interacting with the cast on Twitter or Instagram. I didn't even have an Instagram at that point. I definitely didn't have a YouTube. And I was really, really into it. Season 3 was so much fun. I remember when Ariel came out, I got to tweet with Jennifer Morrison live. She answered. We actually had a little conversation. We had 2 tweets back and forth. I know 2 seems small, but, with a person that has over 1 million followers send you 2 tweets in a row, I was overwhelmed and so happy. And Ariel is on this list. So I really, really just have so many positive memories of Season 3. But also, from a visual standpoint, it's so distracting for the first couple episodes, particularly the first 9 of Season 3, because it takes place in Neverland, and I really, really, really understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to show you that Neverland was void of life, essentially. Void of life means essentially void of light. So, they had the very, very dark lighting, but I hated it. It was so hard. And even watching episodes on my computer, I was just like, oh my God, it's just not good lighting. And again, I got their message, but at the same time, it was just tough for me to watch. And also, my 2 biggest problems with Season 3 is I think Peter Pan is the worst villain on the show, in the sense of he's actually he's very powerful, very powerful, very impactful. But I hated how we targeted Henry, because I don't think Jared Gilmour is a good actor at all. I've talked about his acting abilities many times. I talked about how he doesn't have the face acting. We talked about that in the shot-by-shot review of the Season 6 B premiere. But Jared Gilmour isn't a really strong actor, and I was actually going to put... hold on, I have my list. I want to make sure I have it. I was actually going to put Think Lovely Thoughts on my honorable mentions, but I rewatched almost the whole episode, and I got to the end of it where Emma and Regina are like, Henry, you cannot give him your heart. And he goes, but I have to save magic. And I'm like, you are talking to a crazy, crazy person, which I guess he was manipulated, etc. But Henry should be smart enough to know that Regina and Emma have his best interest at heart, and Pan did not, and it drove me nuts. And then Pan possessing his body, about the body swap and whatnot. I was just like, please stop. So I have many, many issues with the Neverland arc as a reviewer, and actually as a fan too. I really think the Wicked arc redeemed the show, and I think that the Wicked arc, or the Wicked vs. Evil arc, and the Frozen arc are the 2 best arcs of the show. And I actually really enjoy the arc format, which is when Season 6 started and they were getting away from that, I was like, wait, no, arcs are good. It condenses the storyline. And they're sort of, I don't really know what's going on in Season 6. None of us do. So let's talk about the honorable mentions, and then we will discuss the my top 5 episodes, and then I am looking forward to discussing season 3 in the comments with you guys as well. Also, for a good chunk of time, I'm going to be filming up here. The office is it's in shambles, and I need to be up here, so I hope you guys don't mind it. The lighting in here is very difficult to get. There's the whole sort of reflects on my television, so I'm very, very sorry. I just need to apologize for that up. But 90% of the Once Upon a Time videos for season 6 part B are going to be up here, so I hope the lighting and stuff isn't too distracting. Okay, so honorable mentions, and as I said, I was going to add Think Lovely Thoughts, but then I decided against it because it wasn't that good. So, all right, I'm going to go with Dark Hollow first, and I love the Belle and Ariel team up. Belle and Ariel are two of my favorite Disney princesses. I think they are so great. Personally, I think Joanna Garcia plays Ariel on the show so well. I really feel that Ariel is the best adapted of current characters, minus Elsa and Merida, because they're literally pulled out of the movie. But I really just love the team up they had, especially how they're meeting Michael and John, and then also we're dealing with the shadows in Neverland. There was a good chunk of things I did enjoy about the Neverland arc, but the shadows, when they're essentially almost dying, and the Belle and Ariel team I thought was really special. So Dark Hollow is definitely on here. Witch Hunt I was going to put in my top 5, but I said I had to give at least 2 episodes to Neverland, because I would just look so biased when it came to the Wicked versus Evil arc. Because Witch Hunt is a really great episode, but then I looked at you'll see in the top 5, I think I really did pick the 2 best episodes that Neverland was able to give us. But Witch Hunt I thought was a fantastic episode too. I think Witch Hunt is really, really fun. I love the trying to figure out who the evil queen, who cast a curse and whatnot, which fails because we don't know this for a while as the season progresses. And then, Regina and Zelina meeting for the first time. It's a fun episode. And it's also an Emma-Regina team-up, which is really the starting, I guess season 3, the beginning of it, really started their bonding moments. But this is when they know each other so well. They're on the same side. And this is what, when Swan Queen is friends, or Swan Queen is a couple, depending on how you look at it, is awesome. Then also, There's No Place Like Home. And There's No Place Like Home is probably one of my favorite season finales of any television show. First off, I love just Emma and Hook. I think Captain Swan is a great couple. I think Jennifer Morrison and Calden, such great actors. But the finale of There's No Place Like Home is really, really what got me. First off, and I don't have a photo of it from the way I constructed the video, but the breaking up of Regina and Robin Hood essentially was a great moment, because I actually, when I was watching season 3 before I started to review it and really pick the show apart, I liked them as a couple. Then as I got more into it, I realized that they're not so good. That's just my opinion, but we've discussed that. But the Outlaw Queen being shattered, I thought was great, and then Elsa coming. I had such a negative reaction first. I'm why? Why? Stand on your own 2 feet once upon a time. But then I watched it again, and I'm the music, the visuals, the fact that Frozen's coming and she could be evil, it's gonna be awesome, and it was awesome. And 90% of my videos for season 4, top 5 episodes, were Frozen episodes, because Frozen was just fantastic. The arc was great, and Frozen is a great movie. So anyway, I just love There's No Place Like Home because the finale, the score when Elsa arrives, so awesome. All right, so now let's go top 5, because there are some very, very good episodes, and I'm gonna try to keep this video up to 15 minutes long. I don't want you guys to have to listen to me rant too much about old Once Upon a Time episodes. So, Ariel. Ariel is my number 1. I said Ariel was going to be on this list, and as I said, this list is going to be alphabetical, so Ariel being A is the first to go. I love Joanna Garcia's Ariel. I've said this many times. I really feel that she's been pulled off the screen so beautifully. The main storyline with the Peter Pan stuff with Emma and Emma's feelings for Neil, I actually really did enjoy that. But I am just so invested in the flashback. Regina getting to be Ursula was awesome. Prince Eric was really great. You actually really felt that Ariel and Eric were from the movie. I've said this many, many times. I really love it. And I just felt the flashback is so powerful. And, Snow White and Ariel being friends. How great is that? Snow White got to be friends with Belle. Snow White got some way. Yeah, sorry. Snow White got to be friends with Belle, and then Snow White got to be friends with Ariel. Then Belle got to be friends with Ariel. Like it's just like the Disney princesses living in one universe. And as a very strong fan of Disney and animation, I'm like, this is fantastic. It's just so. It's great. So I really, really do love seeing the Ariel episode. I can watch that many times. Also, just back to to Dark Hollow. I really love when Ariel comes out of the water because it really reminded me of the end of the Little Mermaid movie. So anyway, Ariel is my number one episode because I just felt the flashback for her was the best flashback we saw in 99% of season 3 part A. Okay, so number 2, Going Home. Going 2 is really, really cool because it has multiple flashbacks, but they're very short, and they really work into like what's going on to the character's central storyline. I thought that was really, really well done. So I really like just the flashbacks in Going Home. Tinkerbell got her wings back. And sorry, if you see my eyes darting over, I'm just double checking my notes because I want to make sure I'm hitting every point that I particularly like. Tinkerbell got her rings. Did she? I don't think she wore a ring. She got her wings back, which was awesome. Regina and Rumple's sacrifice. Those sacrifices were fantastic, and we're gonna talk about Rumple's sacrifice here and how it works into another episode at some point during this list as well. His sacrifice was awesome. Now, and then it was just doubled in strength by Regina. It's like that episode gave you the feels in so many ways. So Rumple killed Peter Pan, which was fantastic because no more Robbie K as Peter Pan, which was great. I like seeing Peter Pan in season 5. I thought he was more interesting there because he didn't have to deal with Henry, because I think Robbie K is able to play evil well, but I think when he had to go alongside Jared Gilmore, he was kind of like, okay, I'm working with a relatively mediocre so-so actor here, and you know, in his head, he's probably thinking like, I know what I'm doing, and I'll make it work and try to make people like me. And it clearly worked in Robbie K's favor because I think Robbie K got a lot of good fan reception as being Peter Pan, and a lot of people love when he came back. So Rumple killed Peter Pan, which was just so cool. And then Regina, you know, undoing the dark curse, Emma and Henry losing their memories, but like Regina giving up the thing she loved most. I mean, how fantastic was that scene? I really, really loved it. And the cliffhanger was excellent, with Hook coming back and Emma not having memories and going like, who are you? Like, why is this happening? And then she just shuts the door and walks away like, whatever, I was just assaulted, but who cares? Because Emma's just that awesome. So those are, that's 1 and 2. So then for my my number 3, It's Not Easy Being Green. And I really, really liked that episode because season 3, I really felt was so powerful on social media with the hashtag Save Henry for, season 3 part A, and then the hashtag Wicked vs. Evil. And this is when Wicked vs. Evil really came to a head, literally, because they fought. And you also kind of figure out a little bit of Zelina's plan, kind of. Like, we know that she wanted Regina's heart. So I really, really loved Zelina and Regina's battle. I really wish that the magic battles on the show were extended. Like, I really felt that Regina lost a good chunk of opportunity, or the writers lost a good opportunity in season 4 when Regina didn't get to fight the Snow Queen, because I think a lot of people wanted to see that. And I really feel that Wicked vs. Evil could have been extended just visually for a while, but that's budget and whatnot. So who cares? But as a fan, I would have liked to have seen more Wicked vs. Evil. And also, Zelina had an excellent backstory. It was so good seeing her literally go green. It was really, really excellent, dealing with Rumpelstiltskin, having just this jealousy over Regina. And it's this weird jealousy because she's just jealous of the things she never got, which I think a lot of people have. But then, like, she tries to kill her sister. It just shows that she's not all there. But, like, you buy it, but you buy it because Rebecca Mader is such a good actress. The video is definitely going to go over 15 minutes, which I wanted to keep it down by, but yeah, whatever. Hopefully it won't go to 20. So my number 4 is A Curious Thing. A Curious Thing is really, really cool. Now, what's going on in the central storyline is essentially them trying to stop Zelina, but then they stop Zelina in the next episode, which is, shocker, number 5, but we'll talk about Kansas when I'm done talking about A Curious Thing. But what I really liked about A Curious Thing is, in the present day, the dark curse gets broken and Zelina is going to kill Henry, which I would have been okay with, kind of. Not really. Maybe. April Fools? I don't know. But I really, really like A Curious Thing because you have a charming Snow White and Evil Queen team up. And it's so much fun to see the three of them work together because they're like the core of they are the heart and soul of the show. At least I felt from 1 to 3. I really feel that 4 through 6, their stories have been really boring and redundant and almost unnecessary. I really felt after season 3 that not Regina, but that Snow White and Prince Charming should have become recurring, appearing in like every 4 or 5 episodes. A lot of you were like, "Oh, contract, like, oh, what about contracts and whatnot?" And I'm like, that could be renegotiated. I just don't think story wise they work much anymore, and I feel that just having an ensemble cast is a little bit of a hindrance to the show. But I really, really love the 2 of them, the 3 of them, excuse me, in a curious thing. I think the 3 of them together are so awesome. And Snow White sacrificed Prince Charming to break the dark curse, and Zelena comes in and, changes the curse up so that way they forget everything, and just Zelena's talking to Regina is so amazing. And then Snow White gets her heart ripped out by Regina, and she asks Regina to rip out her heart. And you're just like, this, if Regina was, her old self, this would have been her victory. Like, she would have won, but she had changed. It's like you really see the redemption of Regina. The acting is just so well portrayed. This is like when Jennifer Goodwin and Lana Priya really, really shine. And even Rebecca Mader on some degree. Josh Dallas was fine. No comment. So I really just love when the team up. We also get the little introduction of Glinda. And we'll talk about Glinda in just a moment. So I just think A Curious Thing is a fantastic episode. All right, number 5, I already mentioned it, is Kansas. I think Kansas is so great too, because it's, well, unfortunately, the end of Wicked vs. Evil. Well, it's the end of it being the hashtag, but it's not the end of it until essentially Sisters, because there's always an animosity between Regina and Zelena that lasts well into season 5, as we all know. But I really love the battle between Zelena and Regina. It's very short, but it's like Regina is telling her, I think I can quote it. I believe she says, "Don't tell me what I can be." And then she blasts her with her white light when she realizes that she's changing and that she has access to light magic. I'm looking at my hands thinking white lights are gonna come from them. But they're not, because there's no magic in a land without magic. Well, once upon a time they say there's no magic in a land without magic, but there is. Anyway, the battle of Wicked vs. Evil ends, and I just really like the way Regina actually lets Zelena live, and just Regina becoming a true hero and going after Mary Margaret's baby. Again, it's like if this was old Regina, why would she ever, ever, ever go after Snow White's baby? Like, she wouldn't care, but she did. And then we have more of Zelena's backstory. I really enjoyed Glinda. As I said, I want to talk about Glinda a little bit more. I feel the Witches of Oz were kind of given the shaft with Once Upon a Time. I don't think that they were written very well. I think Glinda was written pretty well in the 2 episodes she had, or she really only had like 1.5 if you consider the amount of screen time she had. But I think that the 3 witches should come back, just to give you a bit more insight into Oz and how they even dealt with Zelena taking over. So I really do enjoy her backstory, especially, I mean, you had Dorothy, but Dorothy I don't think really shined in season 3. I think she shined much more in season 5, especially with the whole interacting with Ruby. So Zelena's backstory was great in Wicked vs. Evil, had ended, and then Zelena dies. So Wicked vs. Evil literally ends, at least for a little while, because Zelena died. And I was saying earlier that I think Rumpelstiltskin, earlier, this is going to foreshadow it, that Charming and Snow White should have been moved to recurring characters, just because I felt that season 3 wrapped up their story perfectly. I mean, 3 seasons, that was 66 or so episodes. That's a lot of episodes to really make main characters stick out. Pardon. But what I really, really hated was after Rumpelstiltskin had this beautiful redemption arc in Going Home, or not redemption arc, redemption moment, and it was very powerful. I think a lot of us really remember it. He kills Zelena. Now, he kills her because he's mad about Neil, and he says, Rumpelstiltskin never breaks a promise, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, he had the opportunity so many times since this happened. It happened in season 4 when he could have been honest. He just takes that dagger and stabs Zelena, and I was like, no, like, you can't be good. You have the opportunity to be good. And he was just, because I guess he's written to be evil, have him kill. And like, he's the show's essential main antagonist. But I really, really hated that he died for such good causes, saving everyone, and then comes back and kills like the fan favorite villain. I really feel that season 3 had great villains. but I think Zelina was just a bit better because I think Rebecca Mader owned the role. I also know for a fact that The Wicked Witch was written particularly for Rebecca Mader, but I think Rebecca Mader is just, I think if Robbie Kay's here, well, you can't see, if Robbie Kay's here, Rebecca's here. And I really think that she owned it, and I really am so happy that she came back as a main character for season 5 and a little bit of season 4. So I was really, really upset that Rumpelstiltskin killed her because, as I said, with Snow White and Charming, they could be recurring, and I think Rumpelstiltskin would have been a great recurring character in the past in order to essentially keep the story woven together so well to have all these characters interact. I think Robert Carlyle, I almost called him Bobby, Robert Carlyle just gets so into being the golden Rumple, and I love that myself, so that's what I would like to see, but what I like to see is irrelevant. So, because it's already been done. So anyway, those are my top 5 episodes of Once Upon a Time. Ariel going home, It's Not Easy Being Green, A Curious Thing, and Kansas. I almost got confused because my notes were blending it together. I didn't have bullet points. But anyway, I really liked these episodes. I really enjoyed my honorable mentions too. I think season 3 is a very strong season. It's obviously the start of the arcs and whatnot, and I think it allowed for a pattern for season 4 and season 5, and it really gave us Rebecca Mader, who I think a lot of us really love. So anyway, I am looking forward to discussing season 3 with you guys in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out my top 5 episodes. What did you think about the finale of season 3? I think the finale is truly the best moment of all of season 3, next to Zelina losing to Regina. So anyway, share your thoughts about season 3 in the comments below. If any more Once Upon a Time news comes out, please share it with me. I will make another video to discuss it. I am so sorry this went over 20 minutes. I didn't expect it to go so long, but I guess because I never got the opportunity to review season 3 live, I wanted to just kind of blast all my thoughts out there for everyone to talk about so we can have a really fun conversation. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.